Governor Roy Cooper wants to give North Carolina teachers a double-digit raise and invest billions in mental health support, child care, and job training. It's all included in the budget the governor is proposing today. Teachers would get an 18% raise over 2 years, a minimum starting salary of $46,000. The governor says the increase would put North Carolina first in the Southeast for teacher pay and move the state up from 32nd to 16th in the nation. State employees would get an 8% raise over 2 years. The budget also included a $1 billion investment in mental health services and in child care.
My budget proposes $1.5 billion more for early childhood education and child care to benefit our youngest children who need to learn, their parents who need to work, and our businesses which need to hire them.
Republican lawmakers are calling the plan irresponsible, saying it would eliminate tax cuts that make North Carolina more attractive to families and to companies as well.